We welcome Sterling Brown, Shake Milton, Ben Moore, and head coach Tim Jankovic. Our format will be the same as it's been through the tournament. We'll take an opening statement from Coach. We'll take questions for the student-athletes, after which we'll dismiss the student-athletes, and then take questions for Coach Jankovic. Coach, welcome. If you'd give your thoughts on the game and advancing to the championship, please.
That was a long walk. I got to catch my breath. So impressed with Central Florida. I all year long, the job Johnny's done. They're a tremendous defensive team, and the way they adjust, when the big fella's in or when the big fella's out. And I just think they're a great defensive team. Here late in the season, yesterday, today, they were as good offensively as I've seen them all year. So they made us play our best. They made us play awfully hard for 40 minutes, and I was really impressed. But I'm most of all so proud of our guys. Bouncing back from the ending. We played very well yesterday for 34 minutes or so, and then really had a rough ending. So to bounce back from that and really look like the team that we've seen all year, I'm really proud and happy for them.
Okay, we'll take questions for the student-athletes this time. Raise your hand, please, and we'll get a microphone to you. Ben.
Sterling, what happened after Goo drew that tech? How did that kind of change that game, and what did that do for y'all that went on?
We just had to, pick it up and just come out aggressive. We got a game plan and we got to execute. I mean, everybody, they was locked in, and we came out and did what we had to do.
Other questions? In front, please.
Yeah, Shay, can you talk about that whole sequence? I mean, neither of the teams had led by more than 6 points, and then there's the steal underneath against Taco Fall, the three-pointer on the other end, the technical foul, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point ball game really quick. Was that the turning point for you guys, and did you feel you had it at that point?
I don't know if we felt like we had it. I just feel like whenever things get a little rough or it gets down to crunch time, I think our team does a really good job of coming together, especially being led by these two seniors. They make it pretty easy to, just tighten everything up. And I think it really showed on the defensive end, the way we were rebounding and helping each other out, and then also on the offensive end, moving the ball and getting good shots.
Yesterday, Shemi was pretty big for you guys all game. Second half, Shake, Sterling, it was really you guys who were doing a lot of the work. What was different today for you two?
With this team, everybody stays ready. So it doesn't matter whose night it is. Everybody's unselfish as well. So if you're hot, we're going to get you the ball. And I think, from Shimmy to Hameen and Jure, everybody does a good job of just sharing the ball and making sure the right person gets the ball and gets the good shot.
Front.
Ben, I think both teams, I think each team had like 10 points in the paint. You guys had 10 three-pointers each. So what was happening inside that led to such a dearth of scoring in the middle?
I think both teams were locked in defensively because come around tournament time, that's the most important thing. So both teams were playing hard on the defensive end, and we were trying to keep it out of the paint. So that was a big key.
You guys have been playing against mostly zone all season. What challenges especially were they bringing, especially in the first 10 minutes, that were causing you guys trouble?
I think one of the biggest keys to their zone defense is Taco sitting in the middle. So you got to get adjusted to that because playing against a 7'6" guy is always tough. But I think we did get adjusted. The coaching staff did a great job getting great plays for us. So that was good.
Okay, one or two more for the student-athletes.
You guys now have more wins than any other team in program history. Can Sterling or Shay, can you just address what that means to you guys to have this many wins, and obviously going for another championship tomorrow?
It's definitely a great accomplishment, we just, go out there every day and try to play hard. We definitely not done. We got one more tomorrow and then NCAA. It's a good accomplishment, but we know we're not done. We got a bigger goal that we're trying to accomplish, add to those wins.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll excuse the student athletes to the locker room then. Thank you, gentlemen. And at this time, we'll take questions for Coach Jankovic. Again, raise your hand and
They
we'll
just
get the
leave me by
microphone to you.
myself? Is that what they do? They just leave me hanging? Figures.
Locker room is open, correct. Go ahead, Pat.
Coach, this team, I don't think had a single preseason vote in the AP poll, and here you are with 29 wins. Can you just talk about what it means for you guys to get to this stage and be fighting for a conference
Well, I would
championship?
say first, bad voting, bad early on voting, which is, I always say, and I'm messing with you, but is there anything less important than a preseason vote, right? But what I do want to say is, the name of this game that we're in is winning. The name of the game is winning, and these guys are incredible winners. I love being with them. I love being what they stand for. I love the fact that they have been a part of the most wins in the school history, and it's not an accident because that's really what they play for. And I know supposedly we're all playing for that. You know what? We live in a day and age where that's not necessarily the case. I hope we win, but I hope I do really, really well too. And maybe as long as I do really well, things are pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice and giving and unselfishness that goes into being a great team. It's not that easy. It's not swimming and diving. It's not tennis. It's a group of guys that were all very, very, very good players in their own right when they come together, and everybody's keeping stats and who's the leading scorer and all those kind of things. And to get an entire group to actually give themselves to say, what's the most important and the second most important thing is winning. And that's what these guys have been all about. And that's why I've said for about the 17,000th time this year how much I love coaching them, because their thoughts are pure. They're a little bit throwback, and they're a joy to coach.
Jake, yesterday you talked about today would be a good time for guys to step up outside of Shemmy. How pleased were you, and how important is it going forward to have production out of guys like Sterling and Shake like they had today?
It's very important, but it is who we've been, as you well know. You've been following. It's who we are. We are not a one-man team. We have a lot of great one-man players on a given night, I can tell you that. And you know what, if some of these guys played maybe, on a different type of team, or maybe a team with not quite as much firepower, they would have more of those nights. And that's kind of what I'm saying. They sacrifice for the one common goal, and they're mature enough to know that some nights it's me, and some nights it's you, and some nights it's him. And we have seen countless times when different people, it's their night. And I think it was Ben that said that whoever's night it is, we try to feed the hot hand, and we do it willingly. And it's just it's a beautiful thing. I thought we played so unselfishly. I thought we were just not a bone in our body that was not, cut in with all the right thoughts. I loved our ball movement, loved a lot of things we did. And having said that, we still couldn't get away from them for the longest. They played great, and they were so prepared. Their defense is always great, but offensively they've just gotten better and better. A lot of guys are stepping into a whole different role for them. A lot of the guys that normally score, they score, but good balance from them, and it was a really, really good win. I think Central Florida might be as undervalued or underappreciated or unknown of a tough out as anybody in the country, and I've been saying that for the longest time. I really have. I've been watching their defensive numbers and watching them grow, and so that's why I'm so happy about today.
In the back.
Coach, Ben Melligu didn't score a point today, but I know in the last game he was instrumental in defending Matt Williams, shut him down in the second half the last time you played them. You put him in today. He was kind of all over the place, switching him around on guys. How big of a contributor he is on the defensive
He's
end
great.
when he isn't scoring?
He's one of our best defenders. You could argue if I said he's our best defender, that I'd have a whole bunch of guys mad at me on our team because we have a lot of good defenders. But he's in the discussion for sure every single night. So whether he scores or whether he doesn't, he always plays well for us. And he shot the ball really well over the course of conference season. He's hit a number of countless big shots. He guarded. You're right. He guarded Matt Williams tremendously when we played him there, but the problem is couldn't beg Sterling off of him today, so didn't want to go against a senior that's begging for that challenge, and he did a great job and wasn't fouling, and he just but I would have had 100%, obviously from experience, 100% having Ben guard him the whole game.
In front.
Coach, 4 of your starters played 35 or more minutes, and Sterling Brown played all 40. How big of a concern is rest or lack thereof going into your third straight day with a game?
Kind of big. But we made the decision. I was even asked before we came here, how do you approach the tournament? And I also said I thought a conference tournament for our team, because of our numbers, in a lot of ways was even a bigger challenge than the conference season. I know that a lot of things can happen with injury and illness, but at least you have a couple days in between to rest and prepare. Here we're working on such short numbers, and if we were fortunate enough, which we are, to play three games in 3 nights, I felt like this could be as hard as anything we'll do all year. And particularly, we're going to have a great opponent in the championship game. It's a huge challenge. Obviously, in the NCAA tournament, you'll play some outstanding teams, but at least they give you a day to rest if you're fortunate enough to advance. So this, said it before, and I agree now, that this is going to be a very, very, very big challenge for us tomorrow.
Okay,
but having said that, no excuse.
1 or 2 more for Coach, please.
Sterling in particular looked really locked in today, defense, offense. What did you see out of him, especially in the second half when you really kind of took over a little bit, it seemed like?
He was just great. He was just great. He played great. Played like a tough-minded, highly motivated senior that he is. He wants both ends. He wants the toughest guy. He wants to rebound it. He wants to shoot it. He made some terrific assists, I thought. He drove the ball hard. He found people, timely passes. He was just outstanding, I thought.
Anything more? One final question? Well, Coach, congratulations on advancing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.